Hey guys, it's Jake Hocevar with Redline Consulting. Tonight we're doing a build breakdown with Driven Arms Co. So getting into the meat and potatoes of what this gun is and what it does for me. In general, guys, whenever I build a rifle, I want it to be a quality rifle with quality parts. Okay, I have a handful of range toys. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But most of my rifles that I build that are like this, they can fulfill any role that I put them into, whether that's self-protection, duty, shooting a night match, anything that I would use for duty as a cop. This can do it all for me. All right, so starting in a tip to butt format, what I have up here is a Surefire Monster Mini. Below that, I have Surefire's 2-port muzzle brake. Now, my thought process behind this is, I would say for most of range training, I want to be able to get fundamental work out of the gun. I want to have more feedback from the gun, more recoil. So I will train and use a suppressor on this gun 90% of the time. When performance is on the line and I don't want to have to worry about recoil mitigation or anything like that, I just want the gun to sing, I'll take this off and run it with the brake. Because of the weight of this rifle and the effectiveness of that brake, I mean, this thing just, you can eat your dinner off of it. It just sits there and floats. Moving rearward from the suppressor here, I have a full power PEC 15 on top, tan in color. The full power is extremely overbearing, especially at night on like a D-zone target. In hindsight, I would have been just fine with buying like a Civi PEC or something like that, but I got a great price on this, so I decided to slap it on this rifle. All right, so moving next to the PEC here, I have my Modlite PLH V2 on an overbore system swivel mount. Guys, I've been using Modlite since like 2019, 2020. I have found a lot of use for these lights because of their output and modularity. I've had to, especially on duty, go from push light from a lit place into a non-lit place. And I've carried Streamlight, Surefire, Modlites on duty, and Modlite has always done that best for me. And it puts out for what the price is worth. And to me, it's 100% worth it. Now, as for the overbore systems mount for the light, I've used a handful of different lights or light mounts. And I like that this one's able to swivel. I can swivel it up towards the top of the gun, lower the overall print of the gun, and shrink this light up and kind of tuck it into the crevice between the PEC and the rail up here. I like that, just kind of, it shrinks up the profile of the gun a little bit towards the front end. Now, as for using the mod buttons, I've used the Surefire switches and a handful of others. The reason why I like these the most, because when I purchased this gun with like my firing hand grip, I can throw my thumb and pull with my pinky without having to worry about activating these light switches. To me, that's where I found the most value with them, and obviously they're tactile. They feel good to use, pushing them on and off, but mostly because I'm able to keep the same grip regardless of whether I'm using white light or not with these mod buttons is the reason why I have them. For iron sights, guys, in this rifle, even though I have like already 3 systems of aiming already on this gun, a little bit overkill, but the boomer in me loves to have iron sights, okay? So I run Griffin iron sights. Are they better than any other one? I have no idea, they do the trick. All right, and then on both sides of on this rail here, I have Slateback Industry grips, okay? On the both sides and then on the bottom. They do block like a little bit of gas blowback coming out of the gas block, a little bit of heat mitigation. Outside of that, for me, really, this just kind of breaks up the aesthetics of the gun a little bit, offsets the colors. That's mostly what that does to me. I don't think it does anything life-changing. Are they grippy? Absolutely, but in terms of like firing the gun, they don't really change much for me. Moving our way down to the long stop here. Okay, this was sent to me by Brett. This is a prototype. I spray painted this myself just to kind of match the colors of the rifle. Where I found this to be different than most forward grips, and I've used a ton from BCM, Emissary Development, the list goes on. This is wider, okay? I have big old bear paws, okay? So I like to have a wider grip up front, especially because I like to, with my non-firing hand grip on the front of a rifle, I do like to apply leverage and friction on the gun, and having this fatter grip down there makes it like more comfortable. I'm not gonna sit here and say it makes it easier, but I've noticed a difference in the grip itself, and that's why I've continued to keep it on here. And in fact, just while we're kind of there, most of the things that are on this gun, I believe this rifle has achieved its final form, and this will 100% be staying on the gun. All right, moving our way back, I use Magwell QD mounts to mount the sling on my rifle, both in the back and in the front here. I use an Edgar Sherman designed sling. It's merely just a preference of mine. I like the fact that this is easily adjustable with this giant pull tab here. I like the way they look, I like the way they feel, and I've never had one fail on me. Moving our way back, we're on a ScalarWorks 193 mount with an aim-point T2, okay? I enjoy the simplicity of a T2. I just like having the red dot there. I do not find or feel that the small objective window of the T2 throws me off when it comes to shooting or anything else. Even under nods, this thing's still easy to shoot through. The thing's basically bomb-proof, and I just enjoy the simplicity of it. I have to turn it to like 7 or 10 in the daylight, and it's good to go. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, and then I just turn it back a little bit for night vision. The 193 mount with ScalarWorks, or just like that mount height in general, I have found to be very comfortable for me when it comes to shooting rifles. I have big cheeks, and I feel like this is a good height for me. Like, I'm not completely smashing my face on the gun. I'm able to have a good mount, like a good rifle to shoulder connection, and not be completely just smashing my face to the gun with this height of a mount. Okay, so this is the Driven Arms Co. Magwell for the ADAC lower. As you guys, if any of you guys are familiar with Radian products, this lower is 100% ambi. Also, the Magwell is already enlarged in the first place. I thought it was pretty cool that somebody released a Magwell for this that enlarges it even more. I don't think it's a bad thing, regardless of what the use is of your rifle, whether it be for duty or competition, to have something like this on it. It's proven value for me in every setting. Okay, so I'm gonna have it on as many rifles as I can, or at least as many rifles I can take it. All right, guys, so my rifle is a Radian Mod 1. I know I have some fancy gizmos and gadgets on here, but this gun is bone stock from the factory. The bolt carrier stock, the barrel stock, rail, lower receiver, everything is stock on here, trigger, except for the grip and butt stock here. Moving back a little bit to the grip and safety here, I have the Radian 45-degree throw safety selectors here. I think those are pretty straightforward. There's really like nothing, fancy about those. All it is a 45-degree throw instead of a 90. For some people it does a lot, for some it doesn't. Guys, the grip I have on here is the SCG. I had the VCG on here for a minute and I switched over to this one just because it's a little bit longer and it fulfills my hand a little bit more. This grip in particular, what I really like about it is the hump on the back here aids me in reloads. That was, I did a post about this over a year ago when I initially switched to these grips. And for me, that was enough to pretty much change all my rifle grips over to these. Having that little hump in the back here gives me leverage over the gun so I can hold it up with one hand, no problem. And if those of you who know and have used Mod 1s, these are not light rifles, especially with a suppressor on the front end. And this gives me enough leverage and grip space over the gun to hold it up with one hand. For me, that's a huge selling point. So I've found an immense amount of value in these. All right, guys, on the back end here, I have the B5 Systems Bravo. I have big cheeks, so like running a smaller stock with a smaller cheek piece like this or cheek space is beneficial for me. Guys, what this is here is a compilation of how I set up my rifle at this particular point in time. Some of this may change as my experience changes, but as of right now, where I am in my experience, this is how I set up a rifle. This is by no means the way to do it. It is just a way, and this is merely just actually all of my personal opinion. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please comment below with what you guys think I could do better or how you guys set up your rifle differently. Again, I want this to be a discussion, so by all means, express your feelings towards it.